Once again, we are back on Egmont Sochki Tea Talk Train of Thought with a series of an episode with Mr. Vikesh Wallia, Managing Director and the Editor of Board Stewardship. Sir, it's an excellent conversation to what we are having right from your job from say Modi to Jeep Battery to Shaw Wallace to Balsara to Goodnight to Curzon. Excellent FMCG based fundamental which is pretty strong. Now, in fact, being part of an FMCG industries like which is expected to grow at the CAGR of 14.9% to reach to around by $220 billion like, and FMCG when you started, and if you see the FMCG industry now, what is the shift which has taken place and what are the challenges which are there in FMCG industry now?
Well, 40 years ago when I started in the FMCG industry, that time it was at a very primitive stage. The basic distribution methods that were used were very, very primitive. And today, with the event of internet and e-commerce, the industry has completely transformed.
Correct.
Because when we started the FMCG industry, that time it used to be hand cart, thela leke market mein jana hai.
Correct.
That used to be the. Now there is no concept of thela.
Correct.
Everything is online.
Correct.
Everything is ordered for the retailer, and even there are FMCG companies like Nykaa, which are selling directly to the consumer only.
Correct.
Mama Earth and all these companies are there. These companies are selling directly only to the consumer. It was unthinkable that time. So we had to use not only one level of a retailer, but also a wholesaler.
Correct.
So there used to be a wholesaler who will reach out to the retailer, and then the retailer will reach out to the consumer. Today it has undergone dramatic changes.
So in that changes, what we have seen prior, maybe since I was also into FMCG industry, and at that period of time, the distributors base was more strong and they were more respectful to a certain extent. But with an advent of an technology, now if you see like as the e-commerce companies which are coming in, there is something where they are hit badly as far as distribution which is concerned. Like maybe when we talk in terms of an a retail format which are there, organized modern retail which are there, like big players coming into the market, and this challenge is there for the distribution. And maybe here, since it's a big buy tag which is there, they buy big volume at a discounted rate and they pass on the rate to end consumers. But again, the distributors are hit badly. So what do you feel with your experience, like, should the distributor should be taken care by the company, or they should follow more on the e-commerce platform like?
You can't change the nature. Nature has to take its own course. Now in this case scenario, the nature is such that the opportunity is there for a company to sell directly to the consumer. The company, Nykaa company, doesn't need a retailer also.
Correct.
They don't need a wholesaler. They don't need a distributor. When they can sell it directly to the consumer and they can customize the product, that is the advantage of the e-commerce.
Correct.
If they can customize the product for the consumer and interact directly with the consumer, and you can deal with millions of consumers directly, why do you need? That is the way the nature has transformed the FMCG industry. Do not try to change the direction of a river.
Correct.
River finds its own direction. Ultimately, every river has to merge into the sea.
Correct.
How? You can't define.
Correct.
River finds its own way to reach out to a sea. It merges with a bigger river. It merges with a bigger river. And that river finds its way into the sea.
Okay.
Similarly, in the consumer, demand is there. Earlier, that demand used to pass through the funnel of the retailer.
Correct.
Then the wholesaler. Then the distributor. There is no need.
Correct.
So, if the distributors don't exist, it doesn't matter. Because today the retailer is being served directly by the cash and carry stores.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever retailer wants,
Mm-hmm.
he can just go on his phone
Correct.
and order it directly to Metro Cash and Carry,
Mm-hmm.
to Walmart Cash and Carry,
Correct.
to Reliance Wholesale.
Correct.
So this business has changed.
But as we are saying, all those traditional distributors are they have to redefine their distribution if they want to compete with those e-commerce companies which are there.
They cannot, because it is not anymore a physical business.
Mm-hmm.
It has become a digital business.
Mm-hmm.
They will have to find other opportunities for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You can't unnecessarily have ticket counters and clerks to issue a train ticket.
Correct.
If the ticketing has moved
Correct.
to e-commerce
Mm-hmm.
on the website,
Correct.
why you should have so many counters? Earlier we used to have railway ticketing counters, bus ticketing counters used to be there, so many, and people used to queue up and be in the queue to buy a ticket.
Correct.
Now there is no need.
Correct.
You can select your seat, which seat you want, window seat, back seat, front seat, whatever you want. So like there is no need for a window clerk. There is no need for this distributor. He will find new job.
Now one thing what I've seen, there are the various startups which are mushroomed in terms of an on the e-commerce platform, like.
Yeah.
But through what I had an experience, like those e-commerce startups which are there, again they fall back to same thing. Like they go to the wholesalers, they give maximum of their stuff over there, and they are saying they are going to transform the retailing and the distributor channel which is there. They are trying to eliminate distribution channel so that the consumers are benefited. But if you actually see on the ground reality which are there, it's not being practiced. It's again they are adopting the route of an wholesalers.
You know it so well,
Yeah.
Dr.H.Cheema. But in many other countries, like one of the multinational companies where I used to work, the British company, 60% of sales used to come through only 6 accounts. Cussons was the number 1 soap company in UK,
I see.
and 60% of the business was coming only from 6 accounts. Only 40% or 35% business used to come from these small shopkeepers and other channels. So the modern trade has taken over the business. It has to transform because that is the way the consumer is changing. It may take time,
Yeah.
but it will ultimately change the tracks. E-commerce is now in UK, in European countries and in America. It is going to come to India also.
Yeah.
That change is inevitable.
But if we talk India as a country, like if we talk in terms of spread of a territory which is there, look in terms of villages, there are about 6,36,000 odd villages, and reaching from one village to another village, the kind of a distance which are there. So the affordability in terms of and distribution becomes a challenge even for an e-commerce also. While we talk in terms of connectivity which is there.
You are right. But the thing is that it is changing.
It's changed.
It is changing. It will change much faster with the new road network which is being laid by the government. When you are going to have a travel time between Mumbai and Delhi of 12 hours,
Yeah.
the logistics and everything will transform.
So everyone will have to transform and
Yes.
look at the changes, like
Yeah.
adapt to a change, otherwise you
Yes,
perish,
yes,
like
yes.
So
FMCG industry has undergone dramatic changes.
like,
And in my next industry, which is the print media industry,
yeah,
that has also undergone dramatic changes.
correct.
You can't help.
Correct.
You have to fall in line with the changes.
Okay, so this is a great insight. So what we are getting from Mr. Vikesh Wallia as far as a transition shift which is there as far as the FMCG industry which is concerned with a lot of challenges coming from an e-commerce business which are there, which I think with the social media, with the online concept, we talk in terms of environmental and the sustainability, you are accessible to an consumers directly, and the consumers are more aware about the product and services as far as organizations which are concerned. So it throws in challenges for all the marketer, and even the middle chain will have to reinvent their business, and they have to either adopt to an online platform, or I think the only thing which is they will perish, like. So thanks a lot for sharing those kind of and challenges in an FMCG industry, because we have seen from the traditional way till the change in trend of an industry with the advent of an technology. Thank you very much. Now it's very interesting to see like how the entire print media have transformed. Mr. Vikesh Wallia was there with Times of India Group for 20 years, 2 decades. So in our next episode on Ek Bun Soch Ki Tea Talk, we are going to be there with Mr. Vikesh Wallia and understanding about how the shift have taken place as far as the print media which is concerned. Till then, stay tuned to Tea Talk Ek Bun Soch Ki for our next episode with Mr. Vikesh Wallia. So thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you, Dr. Cheema.
Thank
Very
you very
nice
much. Thank you.
speaking with you.